All right, everyone. So now let's go ahead and talk about what exactly is Skip. And you can visit their website at skip.tools. And on their website, you can actually see that they're saying build native apps for iPhone and Android with Skip. And Skip is basically a tool or framework that allows developer to use the favorite programming language if you're watching, it's Swift, and using SwiftUI to create iOS, but also Android applications. Yes, you heard it correctly. You are going to be writing Swift UI and Swift, and that will basically build iOS, obviously, but also Android applications, which is kind of crazy, right? And you can go and check out their demo over here on the left side. You can see the iOS application. On the right side is Android application. And one of the great things that I actually like about Skip is when you're building these applications, right? I mean, when you're writing code and it is producing your iOS application and it is producing your same code producing Android application, then it's going to make sure that they are native. And not only from the point of, compiling the code to Kotlin and then all that stuff, but also looking native. Because you can see on the left side, if I kind of like zoom in a little bit, you can see that this app is, iOS application. It looks exactly like how you would, assume that the iOS application will look like. And if we scroll on this side, now this looks like an Android application. So they preserve the the native appearance of the app also. All right. Okay, so that is great. Now let's go ahead and see that how Skip actually works. And they have a really good website. You can actually read about it. But let's go to getting started. And introduction. So how does it work? Right. So basically, Skip, what it does is you write your source code right over here in Swift and SwiftUI, and you can see that it builds to native code and it produces the IPA file that you can upload it to the App Store. That's your basically final file or the final, library that you upload, the app itself. Now, during the build process, this is where the transpiler plugin takes action and it transpiles your Swift and SwiftUI code to Kotlin source code, which is then built and compiled to the bytecode and produces APK file, which you can upload it to Android or Google Play Store. So it's the same exact code, but there is a sitting, just like a transpiler is sitting in the over here, and it takes your code, which you have written in Swift and SwiftUI, and then it converts it to Kotlin source code, which is then built into native bytecode. All right. So this is actually pretty cool. And it's just so much fun. Like when you're writing your apps using Skip, you're just thinking about, okay, how I'm going to write this app in Swift and SwiftUI, and it just works on Android. Now, of course, there are some cases which will only work on iOS and not Android, but I'll show you in the course that how you can figure out those cases and what to do when those cases arrive. What are the advantages? Now, I've been in the industry for a very long time, and I work with a lot of large retail companies and a lot of oil and gas companies because I'm in Texas. And when you are trying to write apps that are for iOS and Android, one of the ways that you can do that is you write two native apps. All right, so basically you're just going to be using Swift and SwiftUI or UIKit to produce your iOS application, and you'll be using the Kotlin and all that stuff or Java to write your Android application. Now the problem with that is in most cases, in most organizations that I work on, is that they don't really have developers to write, you know, iOS apps, and the same developer don't know really Android. Now, yes, of course, you can hire multiple teams, but obviously then you have to pay them, right? So you have to think from the point of the companies. And when we talk about these companies like oil and gas companies, they have a lot of internal apps also, which you will never download from the public app store or the Google Play Store. So they have a lot of internal apps. And for those apps, those are only used by their employees. So they don't really want to invest a lot of time in writing two native applications. And even if they don't have internal apps, there are a lot of companies who are pushing apps to the App Store, and they just want the apps to be a medium that people can use to look at their data. All right. So they're not trying to win the Apple Design Award or anything like that. Not that you cannot create great apps with Swift, SwiftUI, Skip, and all that, but I'm saying that most of these companies, like they can be finance companies that I work for, their means or their motivation is that, well, we have all this data and our competitor, they have the app, so we just want to have an app on the App Store. So for them, investing in two apps with two teams, two different deployments, that can be cumbersome. That can be a headache. All right. So that can be a great point that why you can use these kind of cross-platform tools. Now, what about Skip and other cross-platform tools? Now, one of the things about Skip is, as you can see over here, it is actually native, right? Skip apps are truly platform native, Swift and SwiftUI on iOS, and Kotlin and Compose on Android. So they can actually take advantage of, as it's seen over here, all the new features and everything. Total transparency, featherweight, they are light actually. Platform perfect, CI friendly, ejectable, all of that stuff. So they have a lot of information over here that you can read. Now, there are other platforms also for, cross-platform mobile frameworks. This can include like Flutter. This can include like Kotlin multi-platform. But if you're watching this course or if you're watching these videos, then there is a very good chance that you are an iOS developer, right? And you know Swift and you know SwiftUI. So why can't we just use that power of Swift and SwiftUI to also target Android? This is very similar to when I was working for oil and gas companies. You know what they select for their mobile platform? In Houston, Xamarin. Yep, they always select Xamarin. Now, why would they always select Xamarin? Well, the reason is that they already have a lot of .NET developers because Houston market is very Microsoft.NET centric, and they just want to use their skills. I mean, you're already .NET, you already know C#, so you can just use Xamarin. And that's the point that I'm trying to make over here. You're already an iOS developer, you already know Swift and SwiftUI. Why not take that power to the next level? Why not just use that power to target Android? So this is pretty cool. I've actually been working and having a lot of fun with actually Skip, and you will too. I mean, I will create multiple apps to show you that how you can use Skip. All right. Now let's check out the pricing, because you can see the pricing tab over there, and you might be, hold on a second, do I have to pay for it? Well, they do offer a indie free plan. So over here you can see unlimited open source application for the indie plan. Let me actually highlight it right there, which basically means that if you just put your app on the, on GitHub, that would be great because it's open source GitHub. One closed source app, this means one kind of like a private repository, and you should be able to upload on the App Store also and on the Google Play Store. So once, you want more options, then you can go with other plans like small business, professional, and so on. But I'm using the indie free plan, and it's working out to be great. They do have a very good community Slack channels, community forums, and all that. They are very helpful. And I'm just having a lot of fun. All right. So this is the kind of like the introduction to Skip. And in the next lecture, we'll be talking about that how you can get started with installation of Skip onto your machine. If you want to learn more about how you can use Skip tools to create your iOS and Android applications, then check out my brand new course, Skip Fundamentals. Now, this course is going to cover a lot of details for creating your iOS application. You can check out the course video. We're going to be looking at client-server application, map application, and also on-device persistence. And I will be planning to add more content as I record more videos. And this course is currently available for $149, but you can use the coupon code LAUNCHDAY to get 40% off. But make sure you realize that this particular code expires on January 24th, and also this code is only available to a limited amount of customers, meaning this is limited number of coupons that are available. So if you don't use it, somebody else uses, then you will run out of these coupons. So make sure that you use this coupon and you can get 40% off, which is a launch day coupon. All right, so check out some of the free videos that are also available, like what is Skip, installing and running your application, and all of this content will be available to you. All right, so thank you so much. Hope you enjoy this brand new course. Thank you.